electrons which can shield the 3d orbitals. Now phosphorus in plus 5 oxidation state. When you come phosphorus element to phosphorus 5 oxidation state, that time what happened? Shielding is not that because the 5 electron was removed, so the shielding is completely removed. So now what happened? The 3d orbitals will get more affected. So because of due to the inductive effects, what happened? The 3d orbitals lower the energy. So when we come from phosphorus to phosphorus 5, 3s0, 3p0 and 3d0. Now in this case shielding is not possible. Here shielding is not possible because of the 5 electron has gone. The shielding is not possible. Then what happened? Because of the high effective nuclear charge on the phosphorus atom or sulfur atom, that makes the d orbital energy can come down, because we know that from the hydrogen atom problems, when the effective nuclear charge changes, their orbital energy can come down. On the basis, the promotion energy, the energy gap between the 3d and 3s or 3p. This may be 3p or 3s. So what happened? Now when you put actually a element in the highest oxidation state, this orbital energy can come down. The promotion energy is now getting down. So what happened? This electron can move from one of the s electron or p electron can move to the empty d orbitals to involve d pi p pi bonding. Okay. The next one is electronegative substituents. So normally what happened, I already said that one, the compound central elements with the electronegative substituents can favor the formation of p pi d pi bonding. How does that can affect the d orbital shape? For example, normally if you put any kind of electronegative substituents on the central atoms, because of inductive effect, the fluorine is an electronegative substituents that makes positive inductive effects. So what happened? Minus I effect. Because of minus I effect, electron density will be moved from sulfur to fluorine atom, that makes the orbital size. The orbital size will be now that should come to more diffuse orbitals will be changed to more compact because of large partial charges on the central atom, will be shrinking of the large diffuse d orbitals into smaller, more compact orbitals. Now this orbital will be more effective in overlapping with the neighbor p orbital to form p pi d pi bonding. So now it's very clear that one, because of the higher oxidation state and due to the highest electronegative substituents present with the central atom, that can affect the promotion energy of 3d is coming down. So the electron can s or p electrons can enter into the d orbitals to form a p pi d pi bonding, or otherwise you can say that one, because of these two reasons, the large partial charges, because of creation of the higher nuclear charges on the basis of the inductive effect, the large diffuse d orbital will be shrunken to more compact orbitals. Now that can be very effective in overlapping with the neighbor p orbital to form p pi d pi bonding. The change of orbital shape from large diffuse d orbital is changed to more compact orbitals that will be called as d orbital contraction. D orbital contraction. The size of the d orbital is decreased. So that will be called as d orbital contraction. The d orbital contraction happened because of highest positive charge present in the central atom as well as the electronegative substituents present in the central atom. Okay, we have any other example for d orbital contraction? Yes, I have to discuss about the very interesting example, that is thiacyl trifluoride. We have a molecule of thiacyl trifluoride. If you take a molecule of this one, thiacyl, thi means sulfur, acyl trifluoride. Okay, this molecule, yes, F, fluorine, triple bond, nitrogen. This compound, the features of this compound is highly stable compound. Second one, it does not react with ammonia. Does not react with ammonia at room temperature. Does not react with HCl even with heater. Even you heater also, this SnF3 will be never reacted even with heated. Also with the metallic sodium also will be almost unreactive up to 400 degree Celsius. Okay, let me see the bond angle, because the bond angle says that it is bond angle of around 94 degree bond angle, and the bond length of this one is 141.6 picometer. You can see that one, if you have taken various sulfur nitrogen compound, this is the only one case where very shortened sulfur nitrogen bond. So this molecule has very short sulfur nitrogen bond. We have various kind of sulfur nitrogen compounds. Of that, this is the only one compound have very short sulfur nitrogen bond. That suggests that there may be possibility of the presence of multiple bond characters between the sulfur and the nitrogen center. And the bond angle of 94 degree, which suggests that the sulfur atom should have sp3 hybrid sulfur atom. So if it has sp3 hybrid sulfur atoms, it can form 4 sigma bond by overlapping with p orbitals, and the remaining 2 bond, it can be either double bond, or you can argue that may be dative bond. That's another option. If that is dative bond, because the dative bond we can't think about it. Why? Means that is not possible here. We can say dative bond, but it's not possible. How? Because sulfur already have a highest oxidation state, already having more positive charges. Then how does the sulfur can provide electron density to nitrogen? It's almost negligible. It's almost not possibility of dative bonds. So the only option is the sulfur atom has to involve a kind of 2p pi d pi bond between nitrogen and sulfur to form 2 pi bond. That's why what happened. So it has the very less sulfur nitrogen bond length. And that's why what happened, it might attains more stability. So that's why what happened, it does not react with ammonia, it does not react with HCl. Thus this bonding is more efficient. Sulfur nitrogen, 2 pi bonds, whatever it was formed here, it's more efficient. That's why the molecule attains more stability. In case if there is any kind of dative bond or polar bonds, then it will be more reactive, but it's less reactive. It's a further confirms that there may be possibility of p pi d pi 2p pi d pi bonding between sulfur and nitrogen. 4 sigma bond from sp3 hybrid sulfur atom and 2 pi bond, that is p pi d pi bond. Okay. So it further suggests that the contraction, the d orbital of the sulfur should be contracted because of the 3 electronegative substituents present with the sulfur atom and sulfur having the highest oxidation state. That makes the d orbitals more contracted, and it will be like there are more I think it can be more pi bond, more stronger covalent bond can form between the sulfur and nitrogen, so it can attain the stability of the molecules. For this topic, please go to the reference of inorganic chemistry, principles of structure and reactivity by Professor James E. Hughey. Please read this book to get more information about d pi p pi bonding. Thank you very much.